Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Xbox Nation. Yes, that's right, Xbox Nation. A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet or something like that. I don't know. But hey, did you guys know today is National Orgasm Day? I'm just saying. Yeah, it is. You can look it up.
Oh boy.
After the show, man, I'm rushing out of here so I can get mine in.
It was that quick, people. That quick.
It was, man. Look, I have fun with it, man. I have a good time. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm all about just the laughs and the jokes and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are shuffling in. Please, dude, like
your Twitter lately, I can tell that you're about laughs and jokes, man.
Dude, I get really fun. It's really funny because people get really like annoyed and stuff, and it's just jokes. A lot of it is just fun and games. But if as you guys join in, please like and share it out. I would appreciate it. It's going to be a good show. I've got some really great topics tonight, and I think this is going to be a really good show. So I want to get started. Well, by the way, I'll tell you guys what I've been playing a little bit. I played a little bit more of Rage 2 on the Xbox One X. That's a really good game. You know what really sucks? I'm completely broke right now, but I was looking for Kingdom Hearts 3 to go digital on sale, and it's on sale this week. So
nice.
Yeah, it's like $35. I want to play it, but like and I bought Devil May Cry 5 on sale the other week, and it's the same price. So I'm a little bit bummed that I didn't wait because I would have rather played Kingdom Hearts 3. But still, yeah. So I've been playing Rage 2. I've been playing the Horde mode on Days Gone. I was doing some Spider-Man side quest, Mooch.
Well, who could blame you?
Exactly. It's swing to the left, swing to the right, cha-cha-cha. But, and I've also been playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch. I was playing that just before we went live today, and that's a real fun game. It really takes me. There's a lot of enemies on there. I was surprised because when you think of the Switch, you don't think of, like, power, but there's, like, more enemies and detail on that than, like, the 360 versions of those games. So, yeah, a lot of fun there to be had. But, Mooch, what do you got going on? I know you beat Days Gone yesterday. Yes. What's going on with you?
I gotta be honest with you. You kind of put me to the flame. You said, "Will you beat this game?" We beat it last night, and what's great about it was we beat it on Twitch.tv. That was a lot of fun to do it live. But here's the thing: me and Dirt were just talking about behind the scenes. After you beat a game that encompasses about 60 hours of your life, there's more main quests the minute you finish it. Crap. So the game doesn't really end, even when it ends. It's kind of like that unbelievable parallel. But
I wonder if they could have got 2 games out of that.
They really could have.
Yeah.
But the game I'm kind of just playing on the side, to be honest with you, that I'm going to start up. I want to play Devil May Cry 5. You just said it a second ago. That's the game that, shout out to Enrique.
It's fun. I started it. Yeah, I started it. It is fun. It's like, it's satisfying. Yeah. I gotta admit, on the Xbox One X, I think it's 4K 60, and it looks great.
It does look great. That's where I got it. I'm looking forward to playing. I haven't started that up yet. I do think for the next stream, though, just a little tidbit out there. I put a little bit of a poll out there to see the fans' reaction. But I think I'm going to do the Order 1886. It's a short game. I never played it. I think it's a visual stunner. It's another visual stunner.
I would stop by to watch that, actually.
Why not? It's more movie than game, right?
Because I remember...
Of course it's a visual stunner, man. They dropped so much gameplay for graphics that, I mean, it's a no-brainer, dude.
Listen, Xbox, we don't need doom and gloom, okay?
No, yeah, no doom and gloom.
I'm only kidding.
No doom and gloom.
No, funny. I've been waiting to say doom and gloom at one point or another in the podcast.
One of the prettiest games of you walking down a hallway. Should I do it?
Do it.
Should I do it?
Hold on. I have to say,
I
have to admit this. Okay, The Order was the first PS4 game I got with my PS4. I bought the collector's edition, and I got the statue. I'm looking at it right now. I thought that setting was awesome and the ambiance and stuff like that, but I thought the game was incredibly short. I didn't like the aspect ratio where they cut the top and bottom off of the screen, and they had like this weird film grain to it the whole time. That. Yeah, did they? I don't know. Because like I said, I got it right when it came out, so I don't know. Yeah,
Crap. You can now opt to remove the bars from the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah. He's playing it right now.
No, I beat it already. It's short.
What is it? 5-6 hours, Knox?
Dude, I beat it in about 4.5 hours.
45 minutes, people. 45 minutes.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I enjoyed that game every step of the way, and there is potential there for a great franchise. I don't think Sony should give up on that joint.
Well, supposedly Rad Studios just moved it to a new place. Where'd they get the funding from that? I don't know, because the last game they did was like for a GameStop game. Right. So there's a rumor going around that they might be working on a sequel. We'll see. I wouldn't mind a more fleshed out sequel. The guns didn't seem like they hit to me. Like almost like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go back on that. I didn't think it was a great game. Right. Good setting. I thought there was pretty good voice acting, but to me there was also some problems there. But yeah, I hear it, man. We also got Xbot 448.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How's it going? Thank you for joining us tonight, man. How's it going?
Well, what's going on, man? I am a part of the Xbox Nation family over here. Yo, what is going on, chat? Good to see everybody in there. Guys, you know what to do. You have to slap that thumbs up button. You need to share this out. Share this out on social media. Crap, I didn't get to that yet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go
you got to share this out because, unfortunately, YouTube, they don't like to do their job. But I know everybody in the chat can definitely do it for them. But, yeah, crap. What day is it again?
It's Hump Day and National Orgasm Day. So yeah, get both those in. They're synonymous, right? Like, yeah, let's get it in. Oh, I want to introduce him next. Predator, what's going on? He is certainly not last. What's going on, my friend?
That's funny. Ever since I said that, I'm like in the middle now. So
yeah,
I can accept that.
Now you have to talk about always being in the middle, and then you're gonna be introduced first.
What's National Orgasm Day? So the middle is right where you need to be.
It is exactly.
Hey now.
But we're glad you're here too, man. And we also got Noximus Deximus Meridius. What's going on, Nox? How you going, bro? Yeah, awesome.
No, yeah.
High five, Nox. Yeah, woo.
No, man, chilling, man. Like I said, man.
Pretty good, pretty neat.
Doing a couple of things.
Pretty good.
What are you doing on National Orgasm Day?
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you're doing pretty good, pretty neat, and making his return. Dirt Griggity Diggity. I asked him back because the first time he was here, he was nervous, and you could tell he's nervous. And I was like, "Hey, why don't you come back?" You know, sometimes when you do your first time, you know it's a little rough, it's a little painful.
Are you doing this on Orgasm Day?
No, I'm just bringing him in.
No, your first time, you're a little nervous.
You are a little bit nervous. It can be a little painful.
Wow.
You know, it can be a little bit intimidating when you see it, but you know, eventually, you know, you open up and it just feels good. Dirt. So what's up? What's going on, Dirt, man? How's it going, bro?
No, hey, man, thank you for the invite. My second time on Anti-Xbox Nation. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, we're absolutely not anti-Xbox. We love Xbox here. Xbox is our jam. But Xbox, I don't think jams with us anymore. I don't know. So, Spider Silva already says Dirt is the future pony.
Nope.
Man,
Get out of here, Spider.
I don't know. I don't know about that. So we'll have to see about that. But anyway, I kind of want to get right into some of this stuff. Now, Microsoft recently, Phil Spencer in particular says success doesn't mean pulling down Sony. And I think, you know, I think it's a decent sort of thing to say that. I don't think anybody was out there, even in my heyday of being a big fanboy for PlayStation or Xbox, excuse me. I never wanted PlayStation to go away or do badly because you need that competition. So who is he really talking about here? Like Mooch, what do you think? Like when he's saying, hey, we don't have to pull down PlayStation. Yeah. You know, what do you think about that? What do you think he means?
It's more of the kumbaya stuff. And, you know, I mean, we said this a long time ago. And Dirt, you've been a big fan and you've always been an awesome friend to us. You know that we've been saying this for a long time. This has nothing to do with the past 2, 3, 6 months. Is the kumbaya stuff, it's going to backfire. And this is another situation where he's like, don't get me wrong. There is nobody on the Xbox side should want Sony to fail, and nobody on the Sony side should want Xbox to fail. These two companies have to exist in harmony for us, the consumer, to win. Okay, first and foremost, I think everybody in their homes right now is nodding their head saying, I agree. I completely agree with that. So I don't care what side you're on. But for Phil to continue to come out and between the Game Awards and in the interview with Fortune and constantly saying we can do better. And then the other comment he always makes is, you know, we don't want Sony to fall. And the other comment is, you know, we don't mind putting our stuff on other platforms. Like, I mean, just all these things add up to a confidence issue with the Xbox community. You just see the leader of Xbox. You don't listen. Sean Layden came out one time after Phil Spencer did his build speech last year, not this year, last year. Phil Spencer then came out and did something. Sean Layden came out and said something very similar. That was fine. That was a very, very political thing to come out and say, we're all on the same page here. It's all about gaming first. I get that. But then you don't see Sean Layden continue to say, Viva la Xbox. He doesn't come out and say that. He's going back to work and doing his due diligence to make sure that his product remains on top. What we need to hear from Phil, I think, is a little bit more of that gusto, a little bit more of that oomph when you're a leader. When someone's your leader or your captain, you want to hear somebody come out there and say, we're doing that. Forget the Sony. Leave Sony out of it. He doesn't have to bash Sony. Talk up your brand.
Yeah.
This is why
what's funny is
why we're doing this.
Yeah, nobody was really I don't think anybody's really for years anyway, it's pretty clear who the victors. Nobody's really talking I think people don't want Sony to fail. They just want Microsoft to succeed and to do better.
Absolutely.
And I know it's kind of hard to bring up one without the other, but it is kind of difficult to ascertain who exactly he's talking about. Maybe there's this group of really angry people. I don't know.
If he took a look at his Twitter, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, I don't really
all day, man. You can just see can you imagine Phil Spencer's live feed when it comes to Twitter? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think I've never sent him a message on Xbox Live, so I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do though.
And here's the thing. When it comes to what he's saying, he's not wrong. But with doing that, you got to put forth the hard work in every single aspect of your company. Yeah, all right, is what you got to do. All right, you see what they're doing with gathering studios and stuff like that. And I know your opinions on that whole thing. But there are signs there that they are going first party. They are going to control their narrative more and not have to deal with second party deals and stuff like that. So you see signs that he is strengthening the first party base and he is moving forward. But with that being said, there's certain things that he believes in that only hurt what he's saying here, because when you put out those words and you don't work as hard as possible to read what people are saying when it comes to an E3 conference and what you're showing, and you decide you're not going to listen to what they're saying, and you did the greatest show in your mind and that's it. That's a problem right there. When it comes to marketing, and your big hitting games are coming out like Gears and stuff like that, and people, some people in the gaming community don't even know when the launch date is and stuff like that. Those are places that they need to show that, you know what, we're going to say these things, but then we're going to back it up with the hard work. We don't have to bash anybody else in the industry. Our hard work is gonna show for itself.
Xbot, I want to ask you a question. I actually completely agree with what you said, but I want to take this a step further. And what we just said a second ago when we started this segment was we've heard Phil say this stuff before. He said it at last year's game, and the Game Awards was when people kind of harped on him for it, when he was like, we could do better. And it's you don't need to say that. And then you don't need to say what you just said too. How about just go to work and do what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
And that's something Dirt, I gotta go to Dirt Griggity here. Diggity. Right. And you know what? In all honesty, he knows. And Dirt, I know you've been having a lot of fun going back and forth, and I think your videos are fantastic, by the way. But I just want to say, in all honesty, you know what I've been saying. You've got to go to work, you've got to focus. Stop doing this PR BS, okay? And make sure what Phil should be doing, which I don't know if he is or he isn't. I don't think so. We would be hearing about it. He should be flying to each of these studios, checking on progression, seeing how things are going, getting evaluation, see if milestones are being met, and stop with these little PR skits like Xbox saying where it's we could do better and we need to work on this. And when the guy from Fortune said, when are you going to launch this? And he goes, I don't know. I keep asking the developers the same thing. You're the boss, right? So why is this? And I want to make a harp on this. I've been saying this for a long time, well over a year, right? No, me never. But Crap, I've been saying you cannot leave all of this into the developers' hands.
Yeah,
and this is what happens. He goes, I've been asking the developers for a while.
Yeah,
you're the boss.
Here's the thing, though,
because when you put that power, Crap, into the developers' hands, this is what you get. Yeah. You're gonna get what they give you.
I listen. I like what Xbox said. Excuse me. But I also would like to point in, you can't get rid of those second party deals completely. You've got to keep second parties. Those are your only chance for maybe surprises or something outside of the box a bit. Just look at Bayonetta as a second party thing for Nintendo. Ultimate Alliance is a second party thing for Nintendo. Sony has these second party things, or that they did. That's how they got stuff like Detroit or whatever.
Well, second party is where they actually got their diversity when it comes down to it.
Yeah, so exactly, like you can't like not do that. I feel like if there is going to be another Killer Instinct, I kind of doubt that there is. I wish there would be, but that would have to be a second party thing. So I think they need more second party, and actually I think second party would be a good way to get games coming in the interim, because like I've said multiple times, even though people don't agree with me, and I brought this up to multiple people, maybe I'll ask people in the panel, we know what these studios are kind of doing. Now, there might be something under there. I don't think there's something hugely hidden there that we don't know about, but we know Obsidian is doing Outer Worlds, and now that's going to be coming to Switch to or whatever, but they're under contract to do a sequel if they so want to, like the company that owns this publishing rights to this or whatever. So they could be busy doing Outer Worlds 2 as well. Meaning we maybe not see anything from them for 6 or 7 years. And some of the other ones, In Exile, obviously, and We Happy Few with Compulsion. The Initiative, I think we're probably 4 years out or so from seeing anything. Just when you look at it, Fable maybe a little bit further behind than what we originally thought.
The thing is with the companies that you're talking about, where it's like, Initiative could be like 4 or 5 years out. We don't necessarily know. We know they're hiring people or whatnot, but the game development goes in stages. They write things out, and then they sketch out exactly what they want the art style to be and stuff. We don't really know how far along any of those things are, to be really honest with you. I mean, the safe bet is saying 4 to 5 years out, but they could have like something fast track.
Did you want to say something, Dirt?
Yeah. See, this is the thing. We always say these games are 4 or 5 years out. Well, that might be the case with some games, obviously. Yeah. But what if the game comes out 4 years from now, but they show the game off 2 years from now?
Then I think that gives people hope, Dirt. That's what I've been saying. Give people some hope right now. Get people confident, right? Like, I'm not saying, like, I know before, and I've said this before, and it makes you sound hypocritical, but Microsoft is in a different spot, right? When Sony was doing that and they're showing games off like 3-4 years out, at that time I'm like, man, that's really weird. It worked though, because it got people excited. Microsoft hasn't shown anything off. I just want to get excited and see people be excited again, because it's not just me. I know people kind of damage control, like, oh, Crap's the only one that's flip-flopping or whatever, and it's like the whole panel was nothing but Xbox fans and most panels were. BGST was all Xbox fans. Right. This, like, everybody was huge Xbox fans, and now it's just like not because they want to, or look, I mean, like, people bring it up, I lose subs and followers every day. It's not because I'm flip-flopping for clicks or anything like that. I could easily just go all balls to the wall Xbox and do much better. But the fact of the matter is, if you're unhappy about something and I have a platform, I feel it's like an obligation to myself to talk about how I feel about these things. And again, I'm not totally like, oh, like Xbox is totally screwed or anything like that. They do have studios. They're working on games. Phil Spencer, he has changed a lot. He's flip-flopped a lot. Maybe he'll suddenly come out next year and be like, here's a bunch of games that we're working on. And that would be awesome.
That's the biggest thing I'm hoping for. And you guys know, I prefer to play on Xbox. I don't see the whole doom and gloom aspect as much as some people do out here. Like, I can see the good with the bad, and one of the things that I consider in the bad category is not teasing people, going into 2-3 years on the platform.
I agree with that.
And I'm just hoping one day, like, I don't know, he wakes up in that like California king bed or whatever he got, he knocks himself in the head by accident, and then he's like, something just shakes, and it's like, oh man, what have I been doing with that?
Picture this though.
That's starting to happen.
One of the things that I like he actually did was he addressed it, because in the past, like, there's something like they would never say like, oh, we know there's a problem.
Yeah,
they would just leave it and just let it fester. So at least he's openly, publicly discussing, like, yes, we know that our first party has not been working the way we expected it to work, and so it's something they're going to fix now. But like I said, in the past, they would just be like, we're fine, everything's good, we'll figure it out later. We'll just leave you guys in the dark. So him addressing it at least lets us know as fans that he sees the shit that we say about it.
Predator. Hey yo, Prayer. Great point. And I thought about when Shannon Lothers went out there and said that crazy shit about Recore being great and Zoo Tycoon. I don't know what people prefer.
Zoo Tycoon was great. Don't play that.
I apologize, that spot. But would people prefer Phil to say that instead of being honest? He's saying, yo, we have work to do. Me, that's like, hey, like the first step, huh?
But
like
what's it say,
huh?
Dirt? What's it say that Phil, like you have Xbox fans that damage control and say these games are good, right? So then when Phil comes out and goes, "Hey, I admit that our games are trash," you know, it makes people look bad. The ones that are like, "You're wrong," and I did this before. You're wrong about this game, right? Like obviously,
well,
like
it's
hyperbole, but
crap. It's all subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, people might. I mean, I love Record. I actually love Record. I
like that for the first few hours, right?
I finished Record. Yeah, I actually finished it.
God bless you, man. I don't know. Like, listen, I actually didn't hate it until it was like I got to a point where I couldn't progress any further because I needed cores.
Yeah, you got to find those cores. Yeah. But
I actually love that game. It didn't stay on that crap difficulty level, man. They stopped them.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta
grind.
You gotta, like, if I ever do another podcast, it'll be called easy mode or something, man. Like that's the way it is. But anyway, so that's a good transition because Phil Spencer admits that Xbox One first party is lacking, and I have his quote here. He says, "I think about the power of content. I see it every day. The things that people come to Xbox. Very few turn on their Xbox to stare at their dashboard. People turn on their Xbox to go play games, and I think us having a strong first-party Xbox means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last few years with our first-party output." So, yeah, he is admitting it. He did say it at the Game Awards too. He said it multiple times before.
He is a victim of that on his own accord. He's not checking up on the studios. And shout out to Rock Dog in the chat who says that's Matt Booty's job. It is, but let's keep things in mind here. It was Phil's job up until Matt got it and beyond and going backwards. So all of these games that you're seeing that are coming out subpar are under Phil's thumb. And that's a problem. That's a serious problem. He came out multiple times and said Crackdown 3 is looking good. Okay? He's come out multiple times and said, we apologize. We need to do better. We're going to do better. And then the next game comes out and it's just as bad as the other one. And, you know, Recore, listen, there's nobody on this panel that thinks Recore has more potential than I do. If you're a mechanic and you're listening to this show right now,
that dungeon platforming in Recore, like I know there's a lot of things where that game does fall short. One thing it does not, when you get into the dungeons and you do the platforming, that is absolutely
remind
amazing.
me not to bring Xbox to one of my open mic nights in New York City. Here's my thing. Right? That's okay.
Man, you know how it is.
There's the punchline's coming out. He's like, excuse me, where's the bathroom? It's around the corner, sir. It's around the damn corner.
But you're not used to that yet, man.
It's all right. What I want to say is the mechanic, you have a mechanic, a buddy, it's a mechanic. He says, you know what? This car is absolutely destroyed, but it's got a great frame. And that's the thing with Recore. Recore's got everything you kind of want. It's got the great protagonist. It's got the great mechanics. It's got the great setting. It has the background story. It has the companionship, okay, with the different robots. It's got everything working for it, but it needs money, love, and attention. And you know what?
And a better engine.
And then, that's the love and that's the attention. My point is that it doesn't get that love and attention, and it didn't get the money at it. And here you got Phil going out, and you've got these companies like Double Fine, and you got these companies like Obsidian's a fantastic grab, no doubt. But you know, you got Double Fine that's going to make a game, and you had the great Tim Schafer come out and say, I'm a big fan of Tim's. And the thing he comes out and he says is, you know, Microsoft acquired us, but I still get to be me. I still get to create what I want to create. And you guys are all like, here we are in the generation of options. And in 2019, where it's like, let the artist be an artist. And that's just not how I grew up. What I'm trying to say is when I acquire an artist like Tim and I see his abilities, you know what I say? Tim, can we take that Tim Burton-esque type of game that you're able to create, and can we spin it into something like this and get creative with a man like that? Somebody that can actually make an amazing video game. Don't just be like, we acquired you, now do what you want. That's crap, okay? You acquired an unbelievable talent. Work with him and see if you can actually spin something amazing. What's going on here, it seems, is they're acquiring teams, and then they're like, show us what you got. And it's like, don't get me wrong, that's fine. But just like when you're advertising for your business, if you're going to buy 15, 2 are going to be good. Or one is going to be good. The others are going to be just what you've come to expect from these companies. So don't think just because, if you're not a big fan of Double Fine and Tim's work, then don't think because Microsoft bought them, all of a sudden can't wait to download that game the minute it's in Game Pass. It's not going to be a game you like probably moving forward because they're not altering his his creative genes. They're not trying to get him flowing. Go ahead.
You know, well, Mooch, I got to say, people don't know. I've been drawing and sketching since I was about 4 years old, and you know, I've heard you say this like, you know, quite a few times, being on Xbox Nation, Crossfire, and stuff. And there's a part of me that actually does agree with you. Now, first off, I'm gonna say I'm not sure if the camp is that as loose as you say over on Xbox, but even so, when I look back at like the drawings I've done and stuff like that, some of my best work has come from somebody who said, "Hey, can you draw me this with, you know, this kind of superhero with this in his hand?" Like, gave me a loose parameter, but then still let me create around kind of like their framework. So I can definitely see what you're saying.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know what?
And you know what? Shout out to Rock Dog. He says here, crap. He says, Mooch, so you want to kill creative freedom? Rock, no. Take that creative freedom and that amazing art talent that these people have and expand on it. You
got a muse.
You have a $1 billion
needs direction.
Exactly. You have a $1 billion company with unbelievably and unforeseen assets to use, and you're gonna just acquire somebody and be like, "Go do it. We'll see what you got in 2 years." Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not what it's all about. And maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. But I mean, I think you can utilize some of Microsoft's talents instead of saying, well, check on you in 2 years. Good luck creating. By the way, here's a check.
That's sort of what happened to Scalebound was. They,
that's
like
definitely what happened.
let me pay the bills real quick. Real quick. Excuse me. I'm trying to get the hell out of here, man. National Orgasm Day. What can I say? Phil Pyromancer, he says Phil only objective from the day he was promoted was to keep investors interested. And unfortunately, Xbox is no longer trying to be the Xbox 360. It's absolutely trying to be the #1 third-party dev in gaming. So what I would say to this is, if you listen to Phil when he gets interviewed lately, he reiterates this quite a bit. We're Nintendo's biggest publisher. And then he also recently says we're one of Sony's biggest publishers. So he does seem to mention that a lot. And whenever you
customers,
yeah. So like, I mean, listen, I get it. Like, they're right now, they kind of walk this fine line. Oh, well, we got Minecraft. And so he uses that a lot. And because everybody pretty much assumes that, hey, why that was already on PlayStation beforehand. But listen, there's obviously some kind of reasoning behind Microsoft getting that exclusive on console to the Xbox 360, and it worked because they sold, that's the biggest selling Xbox 360 game of all time, over 20 million copies. That's crazy. A lot of people think maybe it would have been smart to pull it off the other platforms, and I would have pulled it off the other consoles. I wouldn't have pulled it off PC or mobile, but I for sure would have taken it off of PlayStation and said, hey, I would have. That's just me, though. That's just me. You know, like, you want to. Yeah, and especially with other stuff, right? Like,
PlayStation pulled the newer Minecraft off themselves by not going with the stipulations for the kind of like all-in-one Minecraft and not dealing with crossplay. So now the Minecraft that's on the PS4 is actually an older version that's not getting any updates anymore either.
Yeah, well, I know like the legacy versions aren't getting any, but anyway, like the big 4K update is like 2 years behind schedule as of now. Anyway, well, apparently it was a bigger undertaking than they thought, and they only got 6 people working on it. So I don't know. Like, listen, I've never even played Minecraft. Like I've like booted up,
brother.
I like booted up like it's like, I don't know, you break stuff up and then you build stuff, I guess. So I guess that's cool, and there's definitely a market for that. But I don't think the market's me. You know, it's it doesn't hold my attention long enough. But just speaking of the first party stuff real quick, and you know, anybody else that wants to chime in can. I feel like great, they're fixing some of the third party issues or the first party issues. I wish that they would have something in the interim. I think nobody will argue me on that, right? Like, it would be good if they would have had a couple of games here or there for the interim to give us just to tide us over.
Blair Witch, crap. They got Blair Witch.
Yeah, that's not like a AAA game though. It's like but I mean, listen, if that's like, it's like, I get it. Like, if people are excited about that, I'm not going to tell you what not to play. Like, it's not my type of game. I'm not like a huge like horror game fan, but you know, I think that game will end up on PlayStation as well. You know, like eventually. So like, and not that being exclusive is going to make it a better game,
man. You said the first.
I know, but something big AAA. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like early on, didn't they? Like Dead Rising 3 was something they got us.
If they don't have anything in the pipeline like that is close to being released, I mean, they're dealing with what they have right now. I mean, early next year besides Gears at the end of this year, you got Ori 2 coming out early next year.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
What's the buzz gonna be from early next year on? We all know what it's gonna be.
Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2.
No, it's gonna be the next. It's gonna be the next consoles, man. That's where.
Both of you guys are right. It's the Last of Us 2 and the next consoles.
Hey,
that's true though, because think about it for a
4K Battletoads according to Jay
Oh,
Blaze.
hold on.
Battletoads.
No, it really is true though. We have a long time till we get to the release of the next consoles. So when Xbox already thinking that's the thing, Xbox. You just proved the point. Where you're already waiting for November 2020. Like a lot of gamers can't wait to play the upcoming games that are coming out on PlayStation.
We already know why I'm waiting for November, though, right?
Well, absolutely. But don't get me wrong, you have every right to say that. But my point being is that like that's kind of the issue at hand here. Is don't get me wrong, and people Concrete Dreams, that's not a game that or whatever it's called, Concrete Genie, whatever it is, Dreams. I would never want to like. That's not something
I said from the beginning that game looked interesting, man.
But that's fine. But what Crap was making a point on Twitter about was that game is sprinkled in between other first party.
Yeah, because I brought it up that it looks really good, and people are like, "But it's a cartoony game, Crap." And I'm like, you don't understand, man. I have Judgment, Days Gone. They have Death Stranding.
You play Judgment.
I've been playing
and it's funny how fast everybody forgets, but this is the same generation, okay? When Xbox just said a little while ago, when he said, well, what do you want them to do? You don't like Blair Witch. What do you want them to do? This is the same generation that the same Xbox One we all have in our home right now bought the rights to a year exclusive to a major AAA game in Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then bought the rights to the rights to this AAA game indefinitely in Titanfall 1.
Okay. You know what they could do?
Company. So why wouldn't they go out and grab a game in the interim?
To
keep people excited.
What happened when they bought that exclusive 1 year right?
Well, there was a lot of hate. There was a lot of hate.
Fans went and bought it and played it. That's what happened.
Their PR got a huge black eye.
They did, but check this out. It's not 2014 anymore. We can we can like
definition of insanity.
Say it's
doing the same thing and
wait till E3. Wait till E3. Wait till E3.
Xbox
right?
2013 DRM was shunned, and now DRM is being celebrated. And there's a parade next week.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that we can't do this in the same generation. We certainly can.
All right. So guess what? So what would happen if the Scarlet, when it's unveiled, is always online and has DRM? Do you think there wouldn't be a backlash then?
Nope.
Yeah. Oh man, you're lying to yourself, brother.
No, because that's what you have. You have DRM right now.
Yeah, I know, but when they put it out
and you're always online too.
You're always online now too.
We are. Listen. That was never a big issue for me. But like, you know what the bigger deal was? It was like the misconception of the used game stuff. Hold on. Jay Blaze 9800 says, "I'm just happy X1 is doing a sequel to a game in Ori 2." Yeah, out of all the games they've done, the only one to get a sequel is Ori. Like, hey, I'm glad because that's a good franchise. But man, when you think about it, there's some.
Crap, did you beat Ori?
No, hell, I couldn't beat that game.
No,
Are you kidding me?
I beat Ori.
I bought. Listen, I own 2 copies because they're like you can get the game of the year or whatever that was for the $5
edition.
Yeah, definitive edition. And then they input like an easy mode, but some of that platforming, like what you got to pull off with those jumps and stuff, I just was like,
I beat Ori, and
I know you did.
I thought it was.
I really listen, and don't get me wrong. There's I've said this for a few weeks now. I'll say it again, and you guys can kind of fester on it and think about it. But there's going to be AAA games that come out from Xbox, no doubt. Okay, absolutely.
I mean, they've got Halo.
But what we've had in the interim with Ori and these other games, it kind of just feels like an arcade, and it's like that's fine. But it's kind of like Bleeding Edge, arcade. Blair Witch, okay, arcade. Ori 2, arcade. Battletoads, arcade.
All games that are worth $10 a month, Mooch. All games that are worth $10 a month. If they spin it to you that way, right? If they present it to you this way, well, hey, don't worry, man. It's only $10 a month.
Yeah, the minute you say anything like this, everyone's like, didn't you just pay $1? That's all it was? I'm like, I get it, dude. I really get it. And you go to the arcade and trade in $1 for 4 quarters and play 4 games too. But my point being is that that's not necessarily what I want for the long haul. And it's been like this for a while now.
Absolutely.
Something else people are going to do too if Microsoft decides to lock down some second-party stuff to fill in the gaps.
That's it.
We've done it. We've done it already here on the podcast. They're going to say, oh, what's going to come to PlayStation at some point in time?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, like, what the thing is though? They are these multi-class like the Outer Worlds. They are like considering those first party.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. They're considering those games first party.
Yeah, he considers Psychonauts 2, all that stuff, Wasteland 3.
Psychonauts 2 is going to be in Game Pass day and date.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
For that,
yeah. So listen, I think that's cool, but I think that also getting some real exclusives, console exclusives, would be cool too. And listen, like there's dormant franchises. Like, look,
platform exclusives. Will you take platform exclusives?
Well, I mean, like whatever. I mean, like I don't care about the streaming stuff. To be honest with you, that's like just keep keep your crap off PlayStation and Nintendo, and we're good.
There are people that care about it out there, man. You gotta remember, like they're not serving just Crapgamer here.
I know, but listen, there's a reason why there's a reason why their sales are suffering incredibly, and it's like
Xbox, the problem is now
only going to decline. If you don't think that people are going to leave to PS5, people are going to leave because of this.
Your comment would hold water if the numbers were 40%
increase
and 3% increase. Everything's down.
360 dropped about 50%, around the same point in its life cycle as well.
But it also sold 90 million consoles.
I know, but it still dropped 50%.
It's not this Xbox. It doesn't. It doesn't hold
no,
water.
You're talking about fall off. You're talking about fall off when everyone already owned the system. That's all. We're talking about people who migrated from one. You know, the reason there's so many PS4s out there is because of all the people from 360 that left.
It's the casual box.
There was a lot of 360 guys that went to PS4.
Dude, there was a lot of dudes from 360 that left, man.
And we did. Who was that? Kratos, who does the show sometimes with us. I did a podcast with him yesterday. He was a 360 guy, hardcore 360 guy. Left to PS4. I know a lot of people that did leave.
I know people personally.
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like it got out of hand. It spiraled out of hand. What happened with Microsoft? They were their own worst enemy. They got real cocky, and you know, obviously doing $100 more expensive than your competitor who has a more powerful box was a huge mistake. Even though they had the games. But what I was going to say is what Microsoft did right at that time was they went and got games like long dormant games like Dead Rising 3. They went to Capcom and were like, "What are you guys doing with?" Yeah, they were like, "What are you guys doing with this? What do you guys like?" I could see them go to maybe EA, who's in desperate need of some positivity, and go, "Hey, what are you guys doing with that Dead Space franchise? Maybe we can reboot it and get somebody to work on that and have it exclusive. We'll do PC, Xbox PC. It'll be great. It'll get you some positivity and stuff like that." I feel like there's these franchises around that people would really really go, wow. You know, like there are some ones that Microsoft could partner on and bring out to Xbox, because Microsoft used to do that. That's what frustrates me. Look, Phil says one thing and then he says another, and I know I get accused of being a flip-flopper, which, by the way, hit the like button. Let's get up over 150. But anyway, if you look at what Phil, flip-flop the like button. But anyway, look, Phil at the beginning of this generation was like, paid to get Titanfall or a Titanfall exclusive, paid to get a year exclusivity on Tomb Raider, paid for a year of exclusivity on Dead Rising 4, paid for the map pack for the first 2 years of Xbox One were a 30 days exclusive on Xbox. The first 30 days of DLC on the hell is that game? Division 1. Those were exclusive to Xbox. And then he's like, well, I don't really like doing that. But he kept doing it even after he said he didn't like doing it. And, like now all of a sudden he stops. Like if it was a money thing, I get it. But if he was just making an excuse because he didn't have the money, then I don't understand why you wouldn't get out there. Look, if you really want to make your customers feel welcome, get them some kind of content, even if it's not an exclusive, some exclusive content, something that's going to make your fans want to pick up that version of the game on Xbox.
It's
over
not
PlayStation.
rocket science. Listen, everything that PlayStation did this generation that made them the victor, it's the 360 handbook. It's not anything that was really like. It's funny if the guys on this panel right now were all like billionaires and we're like, let's let me
get some Chips Ahoy.
Right?
Oh, look, there's Gears. Holy crap.
No, but I mean, like that's the thing. So it's like, that's why I always say, you give credit when credit's due. And it for me, it's almost like it's the reverse of that. It's kind of like Superman 2. It's like Xbox was doing that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not getting into the Don Matrick is better than Phil and Phil's better than Don Matrick conversation. That's irrelevant. But what Don did was he definitely wasn't a game developer. He didn't make games. From the word of it, from what me and Crap heard behind the scenes, he wasn't around a whole lot.
He flew out just for the events and then flew back.
But when he was doing his corporate stuff, you know what he was doing? The same stuff that we're praising Sean Layden for.
Yeah.
He was a Sean Layden. And you have Sony guys that are like, I love Sean Layden. He's great. But people are down. Matrix did the NFL deal. He's the one that got the Titanfall deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one that got the Tomb Raider deal. You know, it's like he got those deals. And then he did the deals in the 360 and that it was all successful. I'm not saying he was great, but you already had that playbook.
360 generation, Xbox was catching so much heat for being reliant on third-party developers and
Xbox.
Like
welcome to 2019. It doesn't matter.
Catching heat from who?
Well, you brought up the 360 era, like the end of that generation.
Sony took the playbook and ran with it.
But that was but that's why they're in the situation they're in now, because they relying on third-party developers. Look,
who? What?
Xbox did. Last generation,
Xbox is in this problem because they stopped securing second-party exclusivity deals.
That's what
it was their bread and butter. Listen,
no,
the thing we were talking about, real quick, Dirk, the thing we were talking about earlier, because I didn't get to chime in on it. If Phil would have just been transparent, or Microsoft in general, let's stop pointing the finger at Phil or whatever. Microsoft in general would have been transparent and said, listen, we stumbled out of the gate with a couple of things. We tried to change up our strategy. It didn't work. Going forward, we're doing this. There's gonna be exclusive content coming to you guys. And they don't even have to say it. Just do it. Put all those Lucky's Tales and all that shit in Game Pass if you want. Launch Game Pass. Don't put your stuff there day and date. Put it a little bit later. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Get these exclusives out here that are quality exclusives. You know what I'm saying? Get the quality games out here, whether AA or AAA, get them out. As long as they're excellent quality, go ahead and get them out. Some for Game Pass, some for the console. Everybody would be happy. Nobody would be bitching.
What happened to all of these second-party deals? Listen, all of these second-party deals earlier this generation. What happened? What happened when Sony offers Insomniac some money to do a Spider-Man game? What happens? You know what I'm saying? They don't have them locked down, so they have to. They're like mercenaries. They do a job, they get offer some money, they're gonna do another job.
Okay, that's because Microsoft didn't lock them down.
All of the games that we want a sequels for, we didn't get. They were all second-party deals.
Well, listen, you can't be totally reliant on only second party. You got to mix everything in. There's like, they're like,
they got to mix it up.
Look at the Xbox 360, right? Like, I was looking at that today. My old Xbox 360, my collection of Xbox 360 games. The first two shelves I have are console exclusive stuff. It's just like they were partnering with so much different content. It was unbelievable. Not only were they doing different content,
BioShock, Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it's like they had BioShock for a year. Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2 was exclusive for a year. Not only that, but they were doing great stuff with the arcade and stuff like that, like 1 vs 100. They were really engaging what the fans wanted. It was like you had everything you needed, and PlayStation was
all about.
Xbox was the market leader at that time too, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are,
I mean, great slogan. Great slogan for anybody that has a platform. Where do you want to play? And then you mentioned the games that Crap just said. Okay, take yourself back to the 360 era. All those games he just said that they locked down for a year or longer. And you turn to the gamers, where do you want to play? You know what the whole crowd's going to say? There! And point to the Xbox sign, right?
I thought you were saying like anywhere Forza is at that point in time.
I like Forza as well, but you got to have more.
You got to have other games sprinkled in between Gears, Halo, and Forza.
And that's what the second party deals did.
But at the same time, they had to build their own first party also, because
absolutely.
But like you guys are kind of like saying that they just needed all these second party deals.
Nobody that I've heard is saying that.
I think a couple sprinkled in would be really good.
The problem now is the first party games that they're making are going for the majority of those 14 that they have or 15 that they have. The majority of those are going to PlayStation as well. So you're already getting. I understand. I get the logistics. I get the business end of it. I'm not doubting or even saying they had anything to do with that. That's the way business is. I get it. But now you're saying, okay, I said I have a good couple of friends of mine that I've known for years that are on PlayStation. I'm like, you guys need to get an Xbox. And they're like, why? And I said the same thing you did. I've been saying what you've been saying, Dirt. I'm like, these games are coming out from the first party studios now owned by Microsoft. He's like, yeah, but I can get that on PlayStation. There goes my sales pitch. Okay. So my point being is now you're another 3-4 years out.
How is Microsoft first party going on PlayStation?
Outer Worlds. Double Fine.
What was it? 2 games? like what? Outer Worlds, Double Fine. I mean, like what else?
In Exile.
You made it sound like all their first party is going multi-plat.
No. You guys, listen. You can't take my comment and then be like, you know what you just said? No, I know what I just said.
It's what it sounded like, though, man.
It's not what it sounds like.
Sure a lot of people out there kind of.
I'm pretty sure the 500, 600 people now watching are pretty much listening to us every day on Twitter.
Well, speaking of 600 people,
okay,
since there's so many
like
people,
what I'm saying is
that like button, man.
a lot of the games that are now being acquired by these new studios are going to PlayStation 4, and for Xbox and the people who don't know, the rest of them are going to PC day and date, which other people also own in their home.
I feel special now. You pointed me out, man.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say, like, my point is it's you don't need the Xbox console. Okay, so what happens is that you have this situation right now where you have everyone's like, come on, how can you guys say this when they just acquired these studios? A lot of these games are going, all of them are going to PC day and date, and then a lot of them are going to PlayStation.
No, well, a couple are going to PlayStation because they were already in development as multiplats.
Okay, so a couple are going to PlayStation. They're all going to PC. Can you guys tell me which games I have to look forward to left?
Well, but see,
you don't know because they're not showing us.
Here's the thing, though.
Here's my point. You guys can go ahead and rip apart my statement, but when I ask for a rebuttal from you, you're like, "Oh, they're coming."
Listen, here's the thing here.
You don't have an answer.
Not everybody out there is a mooch.
That's my point.
Not everybody out there has a PC to play games plus a console.
Xbox, there's a PC in every house, and they're making all these games to play on a potato. So continue, please.
Oh, so if you want to play with a lowered experience,
yeah, because why not? Why not, Xbox? You've been on numerous podcasts when I've been on, and you're like, so what? Some people just play at the means that they can play at. So they're playing at the means they can play at, and that's what Xbox is providing them.
Okay.
There's a computer in almost every household, many households.
And
somebody asked me on Twitter yesterday, they're like, what would you do to make Xbox great again? And I was like, I pondered this a lot and I've thought about how I would do it. And I wouldn't actually think it would sacrifice much. So we know that Play Anywhere was a bust by Microsoft's own admission. People that buy their games on PC aren't switching over and using Xbox to, and vice versa. Like you aren't like starting on an Xbox. It's very few people, according to Microsoft themselves. So not only that, but the PC sales have been mediocre at best. They're not doing much on PC in terms of sales. Gears of War 4 sold poorly. Maybe Halo will be a big difference or something like that. But Killer Instinct sold like crap on Steam. Quantum Break sold like crap on Steam. So we know that everything going over to PC isn't exactly helping them like they envisioned it would. So the first thing I would do, I'd pull my console sellers, my Halo, my Gears of Wars, my Forzas off of PC completely. Then I would have different teams make something specifically for PC, where it would just be PC versus PC players instead of doing this crossplay stuff on my games. So I would do like Halo Online, where it would just be like an online shooter, something that I think the PC crowd will enjoy, or Gears of War Online,
like that
where
Russian
it was just
Halo.
Yeah, sort of like that, right? People really like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or Forza, like Forza Apex. Completely different, their own thing, where they can mod it, they can cheat, they can do whatever they want, but it's far away from the console things, right? I would put the other stuff on PC too, like your newer stuff or whatever. Then I would do strictly mobile things. I wouldn't, worry about, let me shrink down the full Halo Infinite and have somebody stream it on their phone. Like, I would just say, why not get Master Chief Run or Run Master Chief Run or something, and like this Minecraft AR thing that they're doing. I would make Xbox Live Silver membership able to play online for free. And then
that's a great point too.
That's a good point, man.
If you're going to have a situation where Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox, I got news for you. Xbox is doing it. It's literally like you're being a parent and having two kids and being like, everyone in this household will be treated equally, except you get to go to bed at 10 and you get to stay up as long as you want. And you can go on this trip and you can't. It's like, that's the thing that you have to understand. And this is where I kind of want to do a Superman 2 again and flip it. I want to flip it from being on the defensive to being on the offensive. I want to go to Dirt in Xbox and I want to say, so what is it? And I'm going to start with Dirt. I know Xbox likes everything. Like if Mooch makes a hand puppet game that comes out in 2 weeks, you'll play it. Xbox.
Real quick, somebody in the chat made me like laugh. Yeah, this is funny. Can you hear the irony in this? Hold on. I know KI was a letdown. It should come to PS4.
What?
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
No, and let me start with Dirt. Dirt, just in all honesty, let me put you on the hot seat for a minute, okay?
Yes.
Okay. You tell me, okay, make it one-on-one. You tell me, what is it that you can't wait? What has got you so excited to kick on the Xbox for the next 12 months, 13 months till Scarlet comes out? Please tell me.
Coach, I'm going to do this.
I can't wait.
First off, the next 12 months, you say, right? Okay.
Well, we know from now till Scarlet.
Now, I am a big Gears guy, so I'm hyped for that, obviously, right?
We all got that, yes.
Okay. Game Pass is a great deal. I'm hyped to play Outer Worlds.
Did you see the great games coming out this month? Continue, please.
Yeah,
they're great. Yeah. Penny, it's back to the arcade, but go ahead. I got some quarters. Yeah.
First off, by me being an Xbox guy, I still buy multi-platform on my X. I'm not a PC gamer at all. So I'm playing my Xbox for those games. I'm interested in Blair Witch to see what's going on with that. Next year we have Ori, we have Bleeding Edge. Now I know The Last of Us 2 is coming out, but I also have a PS4 for that.
Now hold on. Now we ain't gonna. Let's not twist my words. Okay, I said you're the one that's making. I'm the last Xbox fan. You're walking around with the flag right now. So what I'm saying to you, okay, is you don't have a Last of Us 2. You don't have a Concrete Genie. You don't have a Death Stranding. You don't have that. What I'm saying to you is you are asking every day on Twitter, why is it you guys are doing this? And when I turn around and say, what are you doing? You're like, I can't wait for The Last of Us 2.
No, I mentioned that, but listen, okay, you're right. I'm gonna stick straight to Xbox.
Okay.
Like I said, we have Ori. We have Ori. We have Bleeding Edge coming, and like I said,
how many hours?
The best version of console multi-class, huh?
How many hours will you have in the Bleeding Edge, roughly? Would you think? Estimate yourself.
I don't know, maybe 30, 40
hours. You know
hours.
Exactly what that game is. We don't have to hide. What do you think you're going to have?
Yeah, but we don't know.
5, 10, 100?
I know, maybe 30, 40 hours.
If they have a gear system like Halo 5, I'll be playing that.
I put 50 hours in State of Decay 2. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
State of Decay 2. Like, Dirt, can I ask you a question? Because whenever I bring up State of Decay 2 as being like this horrible game, I get people going, I've got 50, 100, 800,000 hours into this game. And I just wonder, to you, what's the appeal of that game to you personally?
You know what, crap? The graphics are below average, right?
Yeah.
The voice acting is atrocious.
Terrible.
Right? It's
name
is charming. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm excusing my language, but I just love the game. I love the managing your community.
Micromanaging, right?
Yeah. But I like it. You know.
Yeah.
I love the going to houses and looting and cars, and I just like the game.
I respect that.
I do.
I respect that because I'll be honest with you. I can't. There's nothing I'm going to do tonight to stop anybody ever chat on the panel in the future. If that's something you dig, that's something you dig. That's fine. But no, that's fine.
No, I agree 100%.
But when I hear the games that Dirt likes, okay, and I'm going to include State of Decay, and I know he likes Gears, and I know he likes these action games. Then I see these other games coming out, and he's like, I can't wait to like. I honestly, we're all going to try out Blair Witch. I get it. But like, that's like saying I can't wait for Outlast 3. Right?
Oh, no,
I didn't like Outlast. I didn't like Outlast at all.
Xbox. Listen, I'm making a correlation. You have to understand something for a second, Xbox. I'm not saying Blair Witch is Outlast, but hear me out for a second. It's in the same world. It's in the same world. You walk around, you get freaked the fuck out. You turn around, run around, you get freaked the fuck out. Like that's what the game is. Okay, so don't think you're gonna all of a sudden pick up like a shotgun and start thinking it's Resident Evil 4. Okay, it's not. So you can't tell me. When I look at it, how much time do you got in Outlast 2? Oh, Mooch, that's not for me. How much time you got in Blair Witch? I can't wait. I'll never put the controller down. Get out of here. It doesn't make any sense. You know? So
Mooch, I'm sorry. Mooch, I'm the guy that likes games, right? Yeah, some games are average, some games are good, some games are terrible, right? I just like to play games. I guess I'm not guy like this, like any kind of woman. That's great. I just like a woman. It doesn't matter. I mean, she could be ugly. She could be a little chunky. She could be slim. I just like women. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm like that with video games. Who the hell knows?
Oh, no, you're saying, yeah, I hear you. Hold on.
man.
We Knee says, I don't understand why Phil didn't at least make these games timed exclusive on Xbox. Why is Outer Worlds and Minecraft Dungeons day and date with PS4? I said this specifically with Minecraft Dungeons. Like, you own that IP. Why is that going to PS4 and Switch? This seems like a game that has a lot of hype. It could be a huge hit. Why not make it a console exclusive for a year? You know what I mean? Like, people actually really, I heard a lot of good feedback about this game. It's like Diablo with Minecraft characters,
because they'll be leaving tons of money on the table.
Yeah, well, I guess, but I mean, that's not to say you could never. That's not to say you could never release it elsewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, then you'll get them. You'll make those consumers like jaded, and then take a stance and not want to get it. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh man, that excitement for opening it fresh, day and date, playing it on your console of choice. Microsoft's not silly. I mean, this is what they want.
Can get away with it. They can get away with it because they can go, well, Minecraft, it's already shipped on other platforms, right? But like, I feel Phil realizes if he really says, well, Gears of War, we're shipping that on PlayStation. Like I feel like he knows that would be like one step too far. And I think that would, like, if that ever does happen, that's like the straw that's going to break the camel back. You'll see like all hell break loose on the Xbox side.
For the moment, he's gonna dip his toe in the pool with Steam and put Gears there. And people keep saying, well, PC is Microsoft. I guess so. And in terms of what? Making money, right?
Yeah.
So, same thing. This is what they want to do. This is what they want to do. If they really choose to continue to manufacture powerful console units and put them out there and deliver great first-party AAA IP that go well with Gears, Forza, and Halo, and then something new and something new and something new. Great. How many people do you really think are going to adopt it, though, when their stuff is going everywhere, when you can stream it, when you don't need a console? If streaming succeeds, because I really think it's going to fail. But those are the things I'm looking at, that I'm concerned. Like, this could be a bad thing for gaming, period. Everybody sees the great positives of the option. Yes, the option for me to stream my Xbox games while I'm at work, to catch up on some stuff in Destiny or whatever.
Knox,
cool.
I gave crap probably the best analogy I've ever done in all the years.
I use it all the time, by the way.
Right? Well, I don't know if
thing. Yeah.
No, this is no.
Okay.
I know. I appreciate you using that one too, crap.
Yeah.
But this one, when you're talking about streaming games, okay, if you say there's no need for that, Knox, and you live in the city, you know this. When I said this, it's gonna hit home for you. That's like saying we don't need food trucks, okay? Because I got restaurants. There's restaurants right behind the damn food truck, but those food trucks are portable, amazing restaurants on the go. So you can't tell me that I don't want to enjoy some of my fine dining while I'm taking a stroll. Okay,
you're right about that.
But it's gonna set an unprecedented thing in gaming, because what happens when all of gaming becomes a la carte? What happens when Ubisoft wants to hold their exclusive content?
We're already there, man. We're already too late.
Yeah, but we don't have too many of these people doing it now. But everybody's gonna try. Everybody's gonna
doing it. Knox. Like, let me tell you my personal situation.
No, I mean, as far my bad. I just meant as far as taking, let's say Splinter Cell, the new Splinter Cell is exclusive only to Uplay, and you got to subscribe to their service to play it. Now I know Stadia got to deal with them to do this, right? To bring all the stuff.
So you got. Listen, I'm one of these people, right, that subscribe to Netflix, and until like the two recent shows that are on, maybe Umbrella Academy, okay, and maybe one other, I wasn't watching Netflix. I was falling in love with the Marvel series they had, and what they do, they took that rug right out from underneath me. And now they're going to do their own over there. So my point is, Knox, don't get me wrong. I don't blame you for making that point. But what I'm saying to you all is it's too late. That's already happening right in front of our eyes as we speak.
But that's only if we embrace it like that.
Well, people are going to embrace it. You see people on Twitter all day, Knox. I know you're on there. People are going, damn you, Disney. I guess I'll have to sign up.
Oh, yeah.
That's because of the content.
Exactly right. Moose is exactly right.
But that's wrong, man. That is the wrong.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's happening.
Let me say the bad part about all that shit, right? All these little a la carte things, which is a little bit different than what Microsoft is doing. So, like, if I have Origins, right? So, at a certain point in time, you get to the point where there's nothing on there that you want to play, right? And the only thing Microsoft is doing good with that a la carte type deal is they're bringing new shit in there. They're consistently putting new shit in there. EA isn't doing that. Ubisoft isn't doing that. They have all their old games in their old library, but once you get through all those, you're stuck with what's new that's coming out. So they're not putting other games in from other publishers and stuff like that.
No, they aren't. No,
they're just putting their shit in there. So it gets boring after a while. It's either games you've already played or you don't want to play.
Now, first off, I don't.
Let me pay a couple bills real quick, Bot. Lotus Token says, by the time Scarlet launches, Xbox Online player base will be a ghost town. Example, I play Halo 5 Guardians with my buds, even though I hate the game, and Halo 5's player pop is bottoming out.
I will say Halo 5 when it comes to the population, if you play Arena, you're pretty much straight. It's when you get into the kind of like the more casual playlists.
You got to play with the sweaties
and Warzone. That's where I can definitely see what he's saying on that. But again, we have the next Halo coming out like right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean the Halo 5 is 4.5 years old. So
yeah.
Ned Flanders says consensus from all my Discord channels. None is hyped for streaming. They'll play Dr. Mario on their phones before Halo. You know what? Look, I get you. Listen, I think the games that are popular for streaming are games that, are games that are popular. You know what I mean? Like
GTA
like the Candy Crush.
GTA is incredibly. That's streaming. Never mind. I was just saying that like there's streamers playing GTA like crazy right now.
Yeah, there is.
Like the point that Mooch made about the food truck, I thought was a great analogy about streaming. That's what you're talking about, right, Mooch?
Absolutely.
Also, roach coaches.
Hold on.
Oh no.
My personal situation is I work outside, right? And sometimes I have some downtime in my work truck. Sometimes I sit for hours. And streaming is going to be very beneficial for me and people like me that just sit down and play their game. Play a real AAA game, even though it's on a small phone, it's still a real AAA game. And I'm not going to play it more than my console, but it will definitely help.
That's what I'm saying, Dirt. I'm right there with you, Dirt. I said this to crap on him.
But guys,
it's not a primary unit crap, but it becomes something to do when you have that time.
This is a good segue. Phil Spencer, and we've seen this video, laughs at the idea of xCloud being ready to ship anytime soon. They asked him. So I guess the guy that interviewed him was trying it and it didn't work. And so he asked him about shipping it anytime soon, and Phil laughed and said, "Would you ship what you just played anytime soon?" So he had a good laugh.
Was that real? I didn't think
that is 100% real.
Yeah,
that's real.
That's 100% real. Like they've used it for other memes,
and it's funny, crap. Because I said this just before that this came out, and I said this a few weeks before. I said, I truly feel Google is in a better situation for streaming than xCloud is today. Now, do I have any evidence? Absolutely not. But when Phil came out and said that, and when they asked Stadia, do you want to actually have another beta? See, I learned to talk over the harmonica, so that's fine. After doing this week in and week out, I've become very proficient at it. But when they asked Stadia, do you want to have another beta? What did Stadia say? No, we're ready to launch this fall. When they asked Phil, are you ready to launch? He's like, you want to launch that shit?
Yeah.
Right? So my point, right? That's my point.
When was that interview, though? When did that interview?
It just happened like 4 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that really happened.
Isn't that the video that was actually conducted before E3, but got released?
No, this was a live video, like an interview that he did. Hold on. Cake Batter says it doesn't matter if Phil doesn't believe in exclusives as long as Sony and Nintendo believes it will matter to gamers. Well, listen, I think that the thing is right. Which I mean, like the Stadia or the xCloud thing was funny, but we can easily talk about Sony, because if you look at and this is what I've been saying. So Microsoft, and I'm not bashing Microsoft here, but because Microsoft has done a lot of strides to include things to make their platform more appealing, right? Play anywhere, game gifting, game class, or what the hell is that? Game Pass, excuse me. They're doing a lot of things, right? They're trying to implement crossplay. I'm all for crossplay where it makes sense. I just think it should always 100% be optional for us. We pay $60 a year, right? So make it an option always. Like most people won't care, but I think a lot of, like people like me and maybe Xbot or whoever, Mooch, don't want to play against PC players. We care. So we would like the option to disable it. So they've done a lot of stuff to actually help with the Xbox. You know what I mean? The Elite controller. They've done a lot of good things, but the main and I can still ask this, we can't rely on 2013 anymore because look, the Wii U, people got over that and they're buying the Switch, right? So are people not buying, like, they have the most powerful console, the least expensive console with the S. Look, the PS4 hit 100 million. Not only did it hit 100 million, it's the fastest console ever to do 100 million. And this is at a time when it makes Microsoft look bad because they go, well, the reason why our console sales fell flat 48% year over year is because there's console fatigue. We announced our new console and, you know, people are really gearing up for next generation. So everybody swore up and down that Sony's would drop off too. And Sony's actually sold more consoles. So obviously the console fatigue thing isn't really a thing unless it's X. But like the thing that's not put that Xbox has to thing is they don't have exclusive games to push their console, and this is a real thing. If you look at the Nintendo Switch, they're almost at 37 million right now, and their games are selling. Their exclusives are selling 17, 18, 19 million a pop, and it just goes to show you that people are buying these things for the exclusives.
Well,
I mean,
Nintendo's first party always, even on the Wii U. When it sold like 13 million? Like they were hitting millions when it comes to their first party on the Wii U as well.
That's quality, baby.
Nintendo's first party sells in droves.
But they have their quality though. You know what I mean?
That's why.
Yeah. I mean they are, you know,
that's why
I think they're quality as well. But they are those cartoony games that people, when you talk about Xbox and PlayStation, they don't want those.
But no, it's not that they don't want them. It's that they want other stuff in addition to them. If all you did was give us that, like, look, like they have Bayonetta. That's like a sexualized kind of thing, right? Like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. But
I'm saying, even back on the Wii U, their first party sold like crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
they had
considering how it was.
Support there.
Yeah, but now they're getting a lot of support from third parties because obviously, you know, I mean, look, Outer World. Yeah, it's like if you're a developer, you want to get on the Wii unless you're EA for some reason. But you know, for me, like Mooch, what do you think about this? Like, clearly everybody's like, consoles are dying. Tradition is dying. And then here we have a PlayStation 4 sell 100 million fastest ever.
It's not dying. That's the thing.
It's not dying, but the direction that this streaming stuff is going, they're trying to kill it.
Well, that's an interesting point, Knox, and I'm not saying that, you know, you're wrong there.
All the companies want to go that way, man.
I don't think so. I don't think Sony and Nintendo want to go that way. They'll definitely will explode.
Sony wants streaming to be clearly an option, and Microsoft wants it to be a primary use of play.
Brother, guys,
that's the difference.
Like the thing about
eventually, though,
I told you guys like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago about the whole streaming thing, and everybody told me how far away it is. And I tried to say now Microsoft is trying to be there first because they own their own server farms and have the capability to get it out there.
They're the first of the food trucks, but hear me out real quick, okay? Here's the thing. The point of the matter is right now the numbers are staggering on PC gaming. Would you guys agree with that? The numbers are up like unbelievable in PC gaming.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
PC gaming, my friends, is hardware. Okay, no matter how you slice it or dice it, it's hardware. So what I'm trying to say to you is streaming, I'm a huge fan of. Nobody knows that better than you guys. I'm a big fan of it. But what I'm saying to you is Sony's approach is I'm going to continue with what's my bread and butter, my moneymaker, which is my hardware. And I'm going to provide, through whether it be Azure or whoever, I'm going to provide streaming services in the future for my customer. But I'm not going to neglect the hardware, which is my bread and butter. Microsoft is taking a different approach.
What's Microsoft's bread and butter?
Right now, they're trying to figure that out.
Exactly. So you have a company that has established, like, when it comes down to it, PlayStation is their absolute backbone when it comes to that corporation.
Absolutely.
All right. So that for as long as they can, they want to keep, at least in the gamer and the consumer's eye, a more traditional kind of like image.
It's also what the traditional customer, or the customer's asking for. But go ahead.
All right, but no, they want to put that. But how many times has like Sony said they were one thing until they were ready to do another, and then their marketing said, "Okay, we are the other." We are the other now. We are the other.
You know, Microsoft's not getting
good marketing, man.
Microsoft's xCloud is not getting the backlash like they would be, only because Google's taking the brunt of the pie in the face. Okay,
I'll give you and
right
pie in the face,
right? So Stadia is taking Stadia is taking the pie in the face for Microsoft. If there was no Stadia right now, and then Phil came out and was like, "You're gonna ship that," everybody would be all over Microsoft right now. But because Stadia doesn't have a dedicated box and they don't have first party like Microsoft does, they're like, well, Stadia is actually kind of the comical run right now. When personally, I think Stadia's got a couple of things up their sleeve, which we're going to find out next E3.
Hold on, let me pay a bill real quick again. Sorry, I got to get these, man. 4-Star General says until internet connectivity becomes more available, streaming will not be as successful. Many can't get broadband and have data caps. And also with net neutrality, we could see a situation where a lot of these services go, "Oh, you stream games? Well, let us give you our $150 stream package a month." That's
exactly what they're going to do.
And so that's something that's going to happen. That's going to be more expensive than buying your hardware.
It hasn't stopped people from streaming Netflix on their phones.
Well, actually, what happens is,
gone into effect yet,
but you have to worry about this too. They throttle it back. Like I get a certain amount, and most people get a certain amount. But at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's called peak hours, and that's when my internet goes down the most.
And like I said, even with all that, it has not stopped people from streaming Netflix.
But Netflix
on their devices.
Netflix does let you download stuff if your internet is bad or you're going somewhere because they know that internet drops. So, like, I think that's a very smart thing. You know, you can download Netflix shows or whatever to a tablet or phone.
And here's the thing, and this is something that people out there are not going to like me saying, but when it comes down to it, when it comes down to streaming, what they want is they want the stable internet from the big populated cities to be working properly. When it comes down to more like rural areas and stuff like that, that's a secondary, and this is a business thing. That is a secondary kind of like mindset. Yeah, we want it to go there, but the big thing is the big major cities that have the huge populations who have that huge consumer base there. Okay. That's what they're looking at when it comes to streaming, and then it'll leak out more into the rural areas after that.
But why would you neglect those areas in the first place?
It's not neglecting. In terms of business, it's looking at the numbers. Okay, and that's something that when Donnie D said, "Well, if you don't have online, we have a system for you." It was a 360. Everybody just went, "Oh, I can't believe he said that," or whatever. But when you're running a business, yes, you are thinking about your consumers, but you are also thinking about the numbers. And if the numbers are weighing one way, where you can put something out, that's gonna grab onto a populace or a consumer base that has a lot of numbers, like in the cities and stuff like that, you're gonna put it out there. All right, and then as you start gaining revenue and stuff like that, and as technology advances, then it kind of like spider webs out, from the suburbs into the rural and stuff like that. That's how it works.
But I mean, a lot of like remote play and stuff has been around for a long time. I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out
in the house, in your house.
But I mean, no, you can take you're able to take not only that, but I did see something funny. I saw comments in an article talking about how Microsoft is practicing xCloud right now, and people go, "Well, I hope it works better than the home streaming because even right next to my router, it lags all over the place."
And it's true.
Yeah. So hey, you know what? There's like 600 and some, almost like 650 watching. Can we get 200 likes, please? Good Lord! It's not even Mooch's channel. It's my channel. Come on, it's me. It's Crapgamer. You're good old. Your friendly neighborhood Xbot. Let's go.
That's
let's go. No doom and gloom, guys. No doom and gloom.
No doom and gloom, baby.
No doom and gloom. So anyway, this was so console sales grew actually for Sony. No console fatigue there, ladies and gentlemen. PlayStation 4 has now sold over 1 billion games. So listen, 1 billion games. You know who, like, we know consoles, it doesn't matter if you buy their console, right? Because who cares about console sales? But imagine if you had 100 million consoles out and you sold 1 billion games, Uncle Phil. How much money do you make off that, bro?
And that's multi-plats and everything all put together.
Well, I'm sure, but good lord,
they all get a cut off that. Though.
They get 30%. They get 30%.
That's where the money is. It's in the software, man.
Yeah, they get. I'm saying though, if you have a high install base bot, don't you have a more opportunity to sell more software and services?
Yes, you do, which is why they're trying to spread their platform to mobile and PC.
Hold on, they're not going to go to PC, and they're never going to put day and date on their streaming. I can guarantee it. Sony also reported nearly 37 million paying PlayStation Plus subscribers, which is probably more than Xbox One there are in the world. They have
no crap. I love how for the last few weeks, I love this, dude. Like you jump from like 38 to 35.
You got 35.
We don't know the number.
I know we don't.
I always say, say 40. I always say 40. Just say 45 for Xbox. You give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's but 30. I give them one.
Yeah, I give them 35 and give them. I don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Then he goes 37, and then he goes 38, then he goes back.
Well, listen. So the way 40. I look at it is, so far this year it leaked out. So far this year they've only sold 1.5 million Xboxes worldwide. That's piss poor. Yeah. And that's down almost 50%. So you look at it, and that means that they really only even last year didn't sell very much. So it's not unfathomable to think that they're under 40 million and well under that in terms of active users, because like somebody said, like Halo 5's user base is gone. The Gears of War 4 user base is done. It's like,
Halo 5 is dropping now. Yeah. For a game to be that old, I know a lot of people like to point to Halo and for a game to be that old and still have an active user base like that, even though when it comes down to it, the hardcore Halo people, they have all the gear and everything like that. You're going back to play the game just for the fun factor of playing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They stopped, putting in new maps and adding things and stuff like that a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. So it's dropping off, but that does not mean that Halo is dead whatsoever.
Well, I mean, look, it'll be interesting to see, because I want to play the new Call of Duty on Xbox, and I'm hoping there's a lot of people playing it. I want to see it. I want to see it do good.
Playing the crap, come on.
Wait, listen, man. I hope so, but I gotta say, Dirt. I play Black Ops 4 a lot. I'm actually pretty decent at that game, but I run into the same people a lot when I play it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if there's that huge install base anymore. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. I guess there is.
They're doing crossplay, though.
They are, yeah. Hopefully, maybe I can play it crossplay with some
playing Gears. I mean, it was a bunch of people playing that Gears beta test.
Yeah, I saw, and then I also saw it has a 2.8 rating on the Xbox dashboard there. I gave it a 1-star rating simply for the fact of it's one of those things where you can't disable crossplay. Sorry,
but that's not fair. We don't know that yet. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they said it. They're
they said for the finished product, absolutely, you cannot turn it off.
It's just like Gears of War 4, where the ranked you can turn it off, but nothing else. Like literally anything else you play in it, it's not as much of an issue because nobody plays it on PC on that game. So you probably won't find any. But on Gears of War 5, every mode is forced PC crossplay, even the arcade mode.
All they have to do to get people to play on PC, if they come out with a tournament for Gears that caters towards PC players where they can use mouse and keyboard and stuff like that, you'll see a lot more PC gamers to win that money, get in on Gears.
And not only that, if they want to do that, with the forcing crossplay, then just have detection. Just have play with keyboard and mouse guys play
Fortnite.
with each other, and controller guys.
Hey, look,
play with each
I'll
other.
tell you this: Fortnite does that, right? You can play Fortnite on an Xbox or a PlayStation 4 with a keyboard and mouse, but if you have that, if it detects a keyboard and mouse, you're going to play against PC players with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, that's
right.
Good.
That's the way it should be. If you're using a keyboard and mouse, play with keyboard and mouse. I think that's the way it should be. This is always been my thing, and it's a genuine worry. Is the Xbox Live that we pay for a fair and balanced multiplayer? I don't want to get stuck playing against keyboard and mouse and people on a touch screen using touch controls. That's not an even experience for me, right? It's always been a pretty even experience. You might get a lag or some BS here or there, but for the most part, hey, if you did good, it's because you did good. If you suck it up, then you did bad. So now it's going to be so uneven is my worry, and I definitely worry about that because Xbox Live was always had the best multiplayer, and so you want it to stay that way. So that is a definitive worry for me. going forward. But a little bit of good Xbox news, and I'll say this is probably the best games with gold we've had.
Yes, some positive news.
Yeah,
yes.
here's some positive news, guys, from the Pony Leg Breaker
I've been breaking
the albino rhino,
night,
the master of disaster. Hold on, there's some more in there that I forget.
You just made Dirk so happy, man.
The king of all gaming related
media, man. I'm smiling from ear to ear right now. Man.
The king of all gaming related media. Xbox games with gold for August. Gears of War 4, Forza Motorsport 6, Torchlight, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. Holy heck, this is an impressive lineup. I actually have to say, when I saw it, I thought it was fake, and then I saw it was Major Nelson, and I was like, oh.
Lady Foxfire. Shout out to Lady Foxfire. She put it out on Twitter. And my first comment after, I was like, "Is this real?"
Yes.
yo, for real. I had to ask Fox. I'm like, "Is this real?"
And so I have to be clear. This is finally a smart piece of thing. Listen, Gears of War 4 is incredibly cheap. I posted that you can get it at CDK for $2 right now. Right? It's incredibly cheap. That doesn't matter. This is something. If you're an Xbox Live, it hypes people up for the next game. So that's smart. The Forza Motorsport 6 thing, I think that's also smart. That game's probably about to be delisted because it came out within that 4 to 5 years ago, where the licenses are running out.
That's a good point.
Crap. One thing I want to say about Forza Motorsport 6, like Forza
Motorsport, a good game.
Well, Forza Motorsport 7 had something in it, and it to this day, when it comes to the career, it's something where it evens out like the cars. I forgot exactly what they call it. But it's something that a lot of Forza gamers got really pissed off about because you couldn't just build like a B class up to the highest like B class number that you can go. And like it was really kind of like a bare bones. Just bring that car in and race it in terms of the career. So a lot of people got upset with that. So with Forza Motorsport 6, it was the last game. It was the last Forza Motorsport where you can really put in on your car. And then, like, say it was a B class, you can race it like B, I think like 700 or something like that. You can literally like get a C class and put in turbos and all sorts of stuff and bring it up to that B class number and then race, the drivatars with it. So that is actually that's even better for Forza Motorsport fans, like because it's the last one to do that. The next one will probably go back to that. But it was just a little extra there.
Well, listen. The way I think about it is this, right? Forza Motorsport 6 is probably better than 7 overall. So hey, if you guys are like the Forza Motorsport games, go get it. I think it's fantastic. And that's what I'm really excited about, since I already obviously own those 2 games on Xbox. The 2 that I don't own are Torchlight and Castlevania, which I've heard nothing but good things about.
Dude, you never played Castlevania.
I never played it either.
Yeah,
listen.
Those there's 2 of those games. I might have them on 360 hard copy, but I never played them. So getting the first one digitally is something that I will play.
Torchlight's like a Diablo clone.
Yeah, exactly. So I've heard really good things about that. So hey, if you guys get us over 200 likes, I would appreciate it. And it means a lot to me if you guys would do that. And no, listen. Crapgamer isn't like this now because the Xbox community turned on me. Crapgamer just reached a boiling point, and I can only speak for myself. And I got fed up, And listen, I hope Xbox does good because we need competition. But don't sit there and go, oh, because of they turned on them. No, it's not like that at all. For me, I'm confident. I still got my same circle of friends. People don't hate me. I can have a different point of view than Xbot, and me and Xbot are still cool. For the most part, I'm cool with everybody. We all just have different opinions. We do talk shows about video games, and, I do content. Like on my social media, I like to have fun with it. I used to have fun with it like that. I used to just make fun of the PlayStation dudes like that, and it was funny, right? Everybody loved it. I turn it around now. Yeah, I turn around now, and I make fun of the Xbox fans a little bit. Clearly, mostly just jokes, right? So obviously jokes. I'm like, I'm the true hero. You know what I mean? I'm the hero Xbox needs. Like just ridiculous stuff, just to push buttons. People are like, "Oh, you asshole!"
Hey, crap! But let's be honest. I have an analogy. Like I did this analogy on my videos. Like, if you're going to church and your pastor's preaching the word of God for years, all of a sudden he becomes an atheist, how would you feel? I would.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it, but it's like it's not like I don't have some points, though. You know what I mean? Like,
crap! You don't see. I'm shaking my head at you right now.
Hey, no Russian. I have no problem with anybody, but let me tell you this: it's probably not good for anybody's business to bring me on their show with the points that I have. because it's not going to end well for them.
You want to come on next podcast?
I would if Saturdays, if I wasn't like completely like with the family, like
Brother,
Saturdays is our family outing.
So many guest
I know.
on next podcast. You and Mooch are like my top 2 in terms of repeating special guests.
I like it, and listen, like the only things that I would bring up in any kind of thing, and it's just pointless to debate because the generation's over. PlayStation 1. The facts are the fact. It is what it is. Like you can like Xbox and be excited for them. I have no problem with that. These are my own personal grievances with Xbox. As a person who has invested thousands and thousands of dollars and hours of my life talking up Xbox, and I believe Phil, like he's very much that snake oil salesman. I'm sorry. Like he a lot of stuff he says sounds great, Mooch, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, he's always catering to the audience, right? He always does that. You know, and don't get me wrong, this is the generation of also people getting on Twitter and it's like, woe is me. And it's the same thing with him. He's like, we can do better. We're gonna do better.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go. I'm
like,
sorry,
who cares?
family.
Like,
I could do better.
You know,
I realize
it's like you're out to dinner. You're out to dinner for your anniversary. Your plate comes and the food is just terrible. The meat's like either overcooked or undercooked from what you asked. The manager doesn't give you another plate. He just goes, "Next time we'll do better." You're like, "I'm not coming back next time, dude." That's the problem.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like enough with that.
I gotta say, I think you're constantly hungry, man.
I'm starving. Yeah, absolutely. I'm always hungry, dude.
He's a hungry mooch. Do you mooch food sometimes, Mooch?
Nah, not really. I like to keep that to myself personally. I don't like to grab out of someone else's lunch bag. You know, yeah. So
one time I got. Well, I was gonna say never mind. One time there was bagels and I got caught up in a bagel gate situation. I'm just saying. You know, yeah. I mean, it happens. I got made fun of a little bit. It's all good. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for every other YouTuber. No ill will towards anybody. I'm just saying, for me personally, I like people were surprised I went on, what was it, JTech's thing or whatever. No, hardly anybody asked me. I had a little bit of time, but nobody asked me to go on their shows, right? Like this, you and like, dude, my DMs are open.
I went to watch your special guest appearance, like after it was live. I saw that you were on there.
Yeah.
And dude, for like 20 minutes, I think JTech didn't realize that they were streaming. So like I
didn't get there for 20 minutes. Till 20 minutes in.
I'm hearing him set up like the squad and everything like that, like without like I'm like, dude, you were live, dude. You were like, I wish I saw it live. I would have been like, dude, you're live right now.
Hey man, JTech blocked a lot of Xbox guys. He blocked me. I never had a comment. I never.
Hey, listen, me and him had each other blocked, and then we listen. I've gone through. I've been unblocking a ton of people. I enjoy the conversations, right? Like even if we disagree, I enjoy like that talk and stuff like that. Green Hill Play says I have criticism for next gen consoles. Halo Infinite runs at 4K 60. They blew most of the extra GPU power on paper stats instead of improving graphics. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like, what does Gears of War 5 run? Is it like we don't even know what that runs? I think as long as the games look great and they're 60 frames per second solid, I think they're fine. I think next gen's hardware is going to be better where they're going to focus on the frame rate. But honestly,
I think
if you want to stick with the X for a while, I'm all for that. I'll probably do that.
One thing
it's going to be fine.
One thing I do want to throw out there, because we were like the whole kind of like dynamic resolution thing when it came to the tech test and stuff like that. This is why I think that they developed Gears 5 with the next Xbox Scarlet in mind, and like have it run on the
that
Xbox
could be
One
it.
X. And I think that when the Scarlet comes out, it's going to be around like a year. You know what I'm saying? Around a year that Gears have been out, and they're going to probably remarket it as well. Be like, yeah, and get the best performance off of Gears. Came out last year, all that good stuff as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
I think they're putting it out because it's done,
yeah.
But I think they had like an aim for the next series of hardware. So they did whatever they had to do, kind of like limited customization.
I hope it shines on the Scarlet, man. Give me a reason to get one. Give me a reason. That's all I'm asking for. Mooch, what do you think about these games with gold? Because I know you're very critical on this stuff as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. So first of all, you got to give them their due credit. You can't say these are things you should do, then they do them, and then we say no.
Exactly.
So
that's why I'm very happy with them.
So very good on them to put Gears 4 out there. Give that to the fans. Before Gears 5. My only other question, though, when it comes to something like Gears 4, is it's already in Game Pass. everybody, you can't have a conversation these days without somebody like, well, I got Game Pass. You should have Game Pass. Everybody has Game Pass.
We all have Game
Pass.
Right?
So we all have Game Pass, right? Everybody can change.
Everybody.
Adrian! I mean, I just can't figure out why is it, though? So I myself personally, as much as I want to sit there and clap and clap and clap, we already kind of all have that. So, but nonetheless, good on them for that.
Yeah, good on them.
Now, my other thing is, and you guys did the whole thing with what's going on with Forza 6, and it's probably going to get, what is it, what? I don't know.
Delisted.
It's going to
due to the licenses and stuff.
Myself personally, I would say if you're going to give a Forza game out, it's been long enough. Give out Forza 7. That's like giving away Madden 2018 right now. Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, well, listen.
You got to give the latest and greatest That's kind of a question.
But 7, I don't know, is as good as 6, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? Well, I'm going to go ahead. And that's fine. I'm not a racing car game. I'm not going to fan. I'm not going to pretend to be one dirt. But I'm just going to say, when it comes down to it, if you really want it, you want the latest. When it comes to racing games and sports games, I want the latest and greatest. I don't want one that's 2-3 years back. It just already feels old right from the get-go. Gears 4, great move, though. It encourages hype. It gets the train going.
Woo, look out, Phil.
And the 360 games are spectacular. So I got to say, it's great. Great.
What does anybody else think about this month's or next month's games with gold? Good stuff?
Yeah, definitely good. Definitely a lot better in my personal opinion, because I've gone out there when it comes to games with gold, they have to cater to a wide audience, a bunch of different types of gamers out there. So there was gonna be games that came out in games with gold that I wasn't gonna like, but we definitely saw what I think it was Nukem said a while back when Game Pass first came out, that games with gold really does take a hit because of Game Pass. You saw the quality of games that have definitely dropped, and to see them come back with this, I see it as the names look really good when it comes to Xbox One, but when you look at it, Gears 4 is in Game Pass. You look at Forza Motorsport 6. Now, granted, I might like 6 better than 7. But I can kind of roll with Mooch on that one. The big game to me is the Castlevania Lord.
The 360 ones are more important, or more impressive to me.
That was my game. That was my game of the 360 era. That was my favorite game, above Halo 4, above any other exclusives or anything like that. Man, I absolutely love the first time I played that, not knowing the story. When you get to the end, your jaw is gonna drop. If you don't know anything about that story, your jaw will drop at the end of that. That's why I can't wait to see how many.
I hear it looks really good because it was a newer 360. So I hear it looks pretty good too. So I'm very interested to probably go through and play that. Go ahead, Knox.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it enhanced at all?
I don't know if it's enhanced, but I remember it being pretty good looking on the Xbox 360 to begin with.
It's great. So. The frame rate kind of suffered a little bit when I own all of those.
It'll automatically play better on the
There was some screen tearing on the top of the screen when it came to the 360 version. But now, if you're running it on your X, I think the X would just overpower through that, man. So any type of frame hiccups or anything.
Hey, shout out Game Trailers. He says, man, he can't wait for Gears 5 to get a 90+ on Metacritic. Craps Meltdown will be funny. So me and him have a little bet. If he thinks Gears 5 is going to get a 95 Metacritic, if it doesn't, he's buying me Death Stranding. If it does, I'll get him Gears of War 5.
Has there any Gears
Game Pass description
have hit that rating?
I do not think so. He has already lost this bet, by the way. Less money for me to spend on Death Stranding.
So he has to buy you Death Stranding. You have to send him $1.
Oh no, Gears 5. Gears of War. Oh, you're talking about Game Pass.
Game Pass for that, brother. Brutal.
No, but look, I mean that's pretty funny. But real quick, as far as the games with gold, I don't want to downplay them because they are excellent titles if you don't already own them, and if you're somebody like me that will absolutely cancel Game Pass when I don't need it. I will not. Never ever will I have it for an extended period of time unless there is something to play every month, and they're not going to do that. So I'll be canceling it
until you put that on the end. That if
so for guys like me, it'll be good if you want to own those. If you don't own them and you got them now, you're going to continue the game on your Xbox. Absolutely, they're probably the best lineup I've seen all year.
For multiple years. Yeah, multiple years. So.
Hey,
Yeah,
when was the last time that you guys actually played Gears 4 on the X? The campaign looks amazing.
A week and a half ago.
Week and a half ago, I streamed it with Noof.
Okay. Yeah, mine was I played Gears of War 4, I think maybe a month or two ago, just to play some multiplayer in it. And yeah, I mean it runs smooth. The single player looked really good because they enhanced it.
It really looks good. Yeah.
I preferred, like, when I was playing through it again, I remember I booted up the campaign and I did the 4K 30 because it looked so much better.
Yeah, it does.
Like the 1080p one was okay, it was smooth, but the 4K 30 was gorgeous. It was like probably one of the best looking games I've seen. So, so that's why I was just like, oh man, I was happy when they said 4K 60 and all, because I'd like the frame rate, but I also want my 4K. So, you know, maybe next gen is for me. 4K 60 on pretty much everything.
They want Scarlet crap. They want Scarlet.
We'll see, man. I got to talk the old lady into it. She, you know, hey, let me spend $1,000 on new consoles, right? Like that. That'll probably go well. I know, right? So speaking of
just
games,
let her shop on Amazon, and then you're good, man. You can get whatever you want.
I know.
Crap could be like those games with old Walmart commercials where the guy was sneaking home to play Madden. That'll be crap with the new console.
Well, listen, games with gold undoubtedly good. Game Pass games. Let you guys ready for this? Here we go.
Don't do it,
Game
crap.
Pass games for August.
Not like this.
Ashes Cricket.
No.
Pandemic. Jackbox Party Pack 2.
What?
Slay the Spire. Those are the 4.
Oh, say it ain't so.
Those are the games.
That's my joint right there.
So the funny thing, really, Slay the Spire?
No, it ain't my. I never even heard of any of those games. What the hell are those games?
Dude, you were convincing, man.
Wait, what? Ashes Cricket.
That's the point, Knox. That's the point. Check them out.
Hey, Ashes Cricket is a cricket game. Pandemic
I don't even know how to play cricket.
I don't either. The funny part is because me and Mooch were talking about this, and he goes, "Well, this just goes to show that like the megatons are gonna like the big games are gonna not always be there."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which I get. Like you have to wonder the future of Game Pass when all these other companies decide to do their own Game Pass.
Oh.
Microsoft is gonna
be just like the Disney syndrome with Netflix.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, I want to let you know I had my first run in with something you guys have been telling me about with Game Pass. I've been playing one of my favorite games on Game Pass was DMC, Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry.
Yeah, they pulled it.
And they pulled it.
Same thing happened to Yobi today. With
Yobi was
KOTOR.
talking about it.
KOTOR.
Yeah, KOTOR. Yeah, which I have that game. So
go ahead, Xbox. Go ahead, finish that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to hear your feelings on it.
But like, dude, and for the first time, I felt like, you know, I have that whole games library at my disposal, but that was one of my foundations in Game Pass. When I'm looking at Game Pass, I'm like, man, I don't really want to try anything new today, but dude, I'm gonna combo up, get triple S combo in DMC. I'm gonna go in on that. And I went to hit it, and it's like, do you own this game? I have it. I had it downloaded through Game Pass. So that whole thing about people were saying that if you have the game downloaded, when they take it out, you can still play it. Not true. Absolutely not true.
If they lock it out, that's it. You can have it installed. It doesn't matter. It won't. It's like if you install the disc. But you try to lock it out, same thing.
And if you will, let me make my case of what I said a while ago. That's when people keep saying Game Pass is a great value. It is, but you have to understand something. It's going to go from a luxury to a necessity. This is what I'm saying. So you have Xbox. Let's take this case scenario different from what I said weeks back. Now you have somebody like Yobi and you have Xbox who have a game that they love, they like to have in their portfolio. This is to them a game that they've been playing time in and time out. They think it's theirs. They've had it for months. All of a sudden, they go to click on it. It's not there. What do you do now? Oh, you either have to buy it or forget it.
I wish I had bought it when it was in there, man.
But here's the deal. Yeah, well, you said it, but here's my point. My point is now take it on a broader scale, a much larger scale, okay? Now you have people that have only maybe 5 games, 10 games, 20 games total in their collection. They go and they do this dollar thing, or they do the 3 months for $10, or whatever the deals are that Xbox has. And they get 200 plus games. And then the day their subscription runs out, they go from 200 and something games back to their 5 or 7 or 10 that they have.
You got to put down that money.
Right?
You got to put down that money, brother.
Right. Well, great. So you're like Phil spokesman. Here's my thing. My point being is, right, this is what they want. So when people are saying it's a great deal, it is a great deal. until it becomes something that you become reliant on and it becomes a crutch. What happens is it's a false library of games. They're not
like, remember, Mooch, it happened to you. They put Fallout 4 in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they took it out. And I went to go play it, and there it wasn't. There it wasn't.
Hey, they put the Division 1 in there for a week.
The feelings you go through when you go to hit play that game, and it's like, do you own this? Put the disc in.
You're like, I did about a minute and a half ago. So I mean, don't get me wrong. That's the model. I get it. I'm not critiquing the model. But what I'm saying is when everyone tells you on Twitter or you hear it all the time, it's a great value. It's a great value. It is a great value. But you have to understand something. They aren't your games. They're not your games. It's literally like your best friend that was like, here, you can borrow this game. And then 2 days later, they find out, he's like, sorry, dude, I'm moving. My family were moving. I'm going to need that game back. You're like, damn it. So my point being is that like they're not yours. So the point of the matter is that like it's going to go from a luxury to a necessity. And then they hook you in and you want to have those 200 games because listen, you have the crap gamers out there that have 800 games in their library. There's a lot of people, my friends. Okay. I have a lot of friends. They're texting me right now. They have like 5, 7, 8 games, period. Not a year, period. If they get something like this and they're like, wow, 200 games, and you guys all have friends like this, and then the subscription runs out or the deal runs out and they go back to 8 games, you're like, it's like we all do at Netflix, right? Nobody's watching a 700
I remember when they pulled What About Bob, right?
What happened to What About Bob?
It's gone.
I mean, my whole thing is that, like, my point is that, like, they wanna lure you in. It's the worm on the hook.
You gotta stop hanging. You gotta stop hanging. What About Bob, man?
There's other fluff. When you're not watching, Stranger Things or Orange is the New Black or House of Cards, when you're not watching those things, you still could bust out a couple episodes of Impractical Jokers.
Well, guys,
I love that show.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or some Friends and shit.
Well, me and the lady, we found a show on Netflix called Another Life, and we just went through the whole first season. It's a sci-fi kind of like alien type. That show was amazing.
I don't think gamers have the same approach to gaming as they do to watching, entertainment, film entertainment content, right? Like Netflix. You'll give something a shot. So you'll keep Netflix or Hulu and you get back, you know what? Look, on Hulu, that Wu-Tang series is coming up. Man, I can't wait for that joint to start, bro. Like the Wu-Tang Clan, the way they started. Yeah. I'm open to see that. So I'm not gonna go cancel Hulu. But it's not coming out yet. But
and that's the same thing. The same thing you said. I'm not gonna cancel Hulu. They don't want you to cancel Game Pass.
But I watch Deadly Women on there. I watch my ID shows and Ancient Aliens. There's other stuff that you actually consume and you use.
Oh, brother, you watch Ancient Aliens
on Game Pass. You don't really get that.
Knox, what if you're in the middle of one of those miniseries and then Netflix or Hulu pulls it from you right in the middle of it?
That'll piss me off.
Oh, that's what happened to Xbox today.
and that sucks. And that's what I'm saying. Why I would never subscribe to that on a permanent basis.
The Batman series, man. I started playing that instead. And
Telltale or Arkham?
No, hell no. What are you talking about, Telltale?
Oh, that was a dope game, kid.
Hey, I like those Telltale games, man. Get out of here. Those games
the Arkham series. Yeah, no, we know you. You love games that you can actually watch like a movie. Crap.
You know what? Hey, I like games that are fun and that like here's the thing, Bot. Like one of the reasons, like I actually would probably like Sea of Thieves more if I could just jump into it and play for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Like that game. Mooch will tell you, Xbox, you get into that game, it's like 4 hours later, you got nothing
6 hours gone.
Yeah,
man.
You got nothing done, right? So, like that game needs like a mini mode or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's hard when a crew member is getting massaged and has to.
Oh, yeah, I had my sciatic nerve was bothering me. What kind of game is this? Sea of Thieves. I was playing it. We were streaming it, and I was getting my sciatic nerve worked on a little bit. So it's just we're live though. So yeah, exactly. So it's all fun and games. The last topic I want to talk about is let's see, we could do this Killer Instinct thing that was trending. Seems to have died down pretty quick, you guys. Phil never responded. Mike never responded. What do we think about? Like, is this stuff like? Here's the thing, and I get it because I see people get pissed off at me or whatever, and they go, "Well, Microsoft really listens," and I'm like, they haven't listened to any games that we've asked for all generation, though. This one, we've asked for Alan Wake 2, Quantum Break 2. I know some of these games didn't sell well, but sometimes you got to take a chance. They were early in the generation. Rise 2 would have been good. Now you have people like trending this game on Twitter for a new Killer Instinct. This guy, huge YouTuber, and there's no response. And there's, like Mooch, what do you think? Does this stuff die out pretty quick?
It dies out quick, but I'm really the wrong guy to go to because, as you know, of all the fighters, which I'm not a fighter fan, Killer Instinct's probably the one I think is the worst fighter of all time.
Oh,
damn! Really?
Crap!
Damn!
Listen,
I'm not a fan of Killer Instinct. I've never seen. When you love Xbox, when you love games that are fighters, and you look at how smooth and how great things like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter have evolved, you look at Killer Instinct. It's still a 90-degree box your guy's jumping in to hit you down. It's like a 90-degree jump box. Listen, I'm just saying.
Hey, crap! There was a response though.
Who responded?
Killer Instinct put the eyes emoji.
I mean they did, but like I guess the company is busy or whatever. Like it would have been nice to hear like Phil or somebody come out and go, "We love to hear your enthusiasm."
What else is Iron Galaxy doing?
Apparently they're doing ports on the Switch or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's some of what we've been asking for. Shut the hell up and just deliver. Don't say shit. Come out with some hot new Killer Instinct 2 type shit. Or the next whatever you want to do. You know what I mean?
That would be a good interim game, right?
Like on the Switch,
it would be. It'll be a great Game Pass game.
Yo, Pred, really?
He probably put it on the Switch right now.
He said they'll put it on the Switch.
No, I wouldn't doubt
it.
Damn, brother.
That would suck.
I wouldn't.
Thank you. Yeah, wow.
You know what? You're saying that, but you're thinking like he's probably right.
When we first talked about Maximilian and people kind of retweeting it and it catching hype. I was trying to go out there and say that, well, if you want to keep that hype rolling, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep the pressure on until somebody says something. But unfortunately, when it comes down to it, you didn't get a response and people just kind of moved on. It's a social media thing. Like,
it wasn't gossipy enough.
Yeah.
It was still good to see. I don't know. Like I hope we get more games like that. Dude, I like Killer Instinct.
Chaos, man. Like I wanted that forever, man.
Killer Instinct to me was one of the main reasons I bought an Xbox One, to be honest with you. So like that's a special kind of thing for me. But with that being said, I want to get everybody out of here. It's I got plans tonight. Everybody's got plans tonight. Hold on. We got somebody says Crap is a hero that Xbox needs, but not the one that they deserve. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. I carry the mantle for you guys, and I will continue to do so. Thank you guys so much.
Crap, I'm gonna make a graphic with you like a superhero, like a towel for a cape. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
I'm the man.
Together, man. Yeah.
I am, man. So Mooch, what do you got going on? Assuming we can all do hangouts later this week.
Assuming hangouts is still a thing, which I certainly think it is. We've got Crossfire Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Mooch 78 on YouTube. Also check out the Mooch 78 on Twitch.tv. Probably going to be doing the Order 1886 because it's short and sweet. Get that one in there. I really want to get a lot of the backlog through. But nonetheless, guys, that's where you'll find me. And you'll also find me tap dancing around this harmonica. I'm going to have to bring some sort of a banjo to MNC on Sunday.
And we've got Xbot 448. What do you got going on, dude?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Yo, huge shout out to everybody who checked out the show today. The chat was amazing. Everybody interacting with each other.
Hit the like button.
Definitely hit the like button. But yeah, every Saturday on my channel is the next podcast. High production value. We got gameplay going on while we're talking about the gaming news. Of course, Predator that's on this panel is going to be there. Noxmus is going to be there. K-Mega. You never know. The Don might jump in as well. He's got an open door. But it's a fun show over on my channel every Saturday, 7 p.m. Xbot 448. There you go.
Looking forward to that. We got Predator. What do you got going on, man? What's going on, Pred?
Next podcast Saturday, Predator, H2OS, Xbox Live, MySpace.
MySpace, yeah, we're gonna follow him on some MySpace. We got Noximus. What do you got going on, Nox?
Oh man, pretty good, pretty neat, man. Nothing much,
pretty
man.
Good, pretty neat.
Some news, some schedule changes at work. So in Nox We Trust is gonna have to take a little further hiatus for now, because unlike the development companies, man, we're not allergic to crunch. We got to do what we got to do. We got to step our game up, and when duty calls, it calls. But hopefully soon, man. I do have the new equipment, so I'm actually like very eager to do something, man. But yeah, you know, it's just gonna have to wait a little bit. But yeah, man, right here, Wednesdays, Xbox Nation. Next podcast on Saturdays. You already know, at DKnox on Twitter. Pretty good, pretty neat.
Pretty good, pretty neat. And we also got Dirt, man. Dirt, thank you so much for joining us today. It's actually a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you got going on, my friend?
Well, I am Dirt Griggity, and I'm an Xbox guy. But I would like to say I'm about to do a podcast on my channel called Scram Punks. It's up right after Xbox Nation. So just tune into my dog shit channel and check it out. I appreciate it. But yeah, thanks, Crap, man. This is great, man. I hope Hangouts is still around. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotta
say, it ain't easy talking over that.
It ain't.
That's why my outro's short and sweet. I don't feel like hearing
Hey, I love
icon I have ever seen in a Hangout, man.
Hey, I love you guys very much, man. Thank you guys so much for watching us. Like it, share it, all that stuff. Check out all these guys' channels and content. It's all great stuff. Xbox is the best box. Pony leg breaker extraordinaire.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I have an orgasm.
In about an hour or so. Later, guys. Peace out.